Hey guys, how's it going? Today we are gonna talk about how your controller input detection is wrong. Okay? And I know that sounds like a bit of a call out, but honestly it kind of is because chances are it is wrong. Considering so many games that I play, not all, but a lot, just handle controller detection wrongly, and I'm gonna explain why. So, firstly, right, the way a lot of games seem to do it is using user input service, which is fine, you should use it regardless, but the issue is the methods they use. So firstly, they use user input service get gamepad connected, which takes this argument of the user input type, which in this case we'll do gamepad1, or they use get connected gamepads, which returns an array of all the connected gamepads. Now if we print these out, right, print out get gamepad connected and then print the number of connected gamepads, right? Since it's an array, we can use that little number sign. And then if we test, you'll see true and 1. Now this means true as in there is, like, gamepad 1 is connected, and 1 as in there's one gamepad connected. Now, as you can see, I'm using a mouse, I'm moving around with my keyboard, I can type, clearly I'm not using a gamepad. The issue is I have one connected. I have a controller connected. And in fact, if I unplug it, and then we go again, you can see false and 0. It's not connected. There's 0 gamepads connected. Now, why is this a problem? Well, a lot of games tend to just check when you join, or just in general, they just check if a gamepad's connected, whether you're using it or not. One example of this, right, is with controls. You might want to display gamepad controls if someone's using a gamepad, or keyboard controls if someone's using a keyboard. So an example, let's just get a text label in here. Let's just do like controls. Let's just do like X to attack, A to jump, right? So if we have this, we could do like text scaled, whatever. If we have this, right, and it's just in the corner here, let's change it. Actually, let's do for click to attack, space to jump, right? Essentially. And then let's get the UI, right? So we gotta obviously get our player using the player service. We can do like player players dot local player player GUI player dot player GUI. And then essentially, when the player joins, you might want to do like if number of user input service get connected gamepads is greater than or equal to 1. So if they have a gamepad connected, then, you access that text label, change the text to X to attack, A to jump, right? Currently, it's click to attack, space to jump. So you might want to change it, and then like otherwise, just do click to attack, space to jump, right? So you're checking, do they have a gamepad connected? Okay, so they're on controller, right? Supposedly, but they're not always. So if we test right now, right, it'll obviously, hold on, whoopsies, that's an issue. We have to wait for it. Player GUI, wait for child, screen GUI. My bad, chat. We'll just go with that. Okay, now if we test, you can see in the bottom left, X to attack, A to jump, right? But again, we're on keyboard. We want it to display keyboard controls when we're using a keyboard. Now, how do we fix this, right? Simple. There's another method with user input service called get last input type. In this way, we just get the last detected input from the player rather than just checking if a gamepad is connected. We're checking if they actually are using the gamepad. Now we can't just do this one time and be over with it because, someone might switch back and forth between controller and keyboard and whatever. So we have to use run service or a loop or whatever. In this case, I'm going to use run service. So we go up here, get run service. And we're just going to use, render stepped for this. And this is pretty simple. So every frame, essentially, using render stepped, we're going to check if the last input type was that gamepad. And if it was, then we'll switch, or then we'll switch the text label text to X to attack, A to jump. Otherwise, we'll do this, And of course, you can also have like mobile controls with this. It's really quick, might as well. You can do like else if it's touch. If the user input type is touch, then you might make it tap to, I don't know, who knows, like button 1 to attack, button 2 to jump. This is such a loose example, but you get the whole point. So we're checking if the last input type is gamepad, then make it the controls that. If it's touch, make the controls that. Otherwise, just make it, keyboard controls. So now if we test, sorry, I got to remove this part, I forgot. Now if we test, we'll see it is click to attack, space to jump. And guess what? If I pick up my controller and start using it, you can see it has switched to X to attack, A to jump. And then if I use my mouse again, it goes back. So see, it goes back and forth between controller, mouse, depending on what I'm using. And this is how it should be done, because that way you can, actively, constantly switch to whatever the player is currently using, and you're not just detecting if a gamepad is connected. And this also works for like haptic service as well. This is another issue, right? And this isn't even using get gamepad connected. But we're going to get into haptic service now. So the issue with haptics is developers will just trigger haptics whether you have it, whether you're using the controller or not. So I'll be playing a game and something will happen and my controller will start vibrating, but I'm not even using it, right? So how do you fix this? Well, it's the same kind of thing. So first thing, let's get haptic service, right? Get service, haptic service. And the way you use haptic service, by the way, is you essentially you do haptic service set motor. You're setting the vibration essentially, and then you set it off. So first to set it, you user input type, gamepad 1 in this case. Vibration motor, we'll use the small motor, and then the third argument is essentially how intensely the motor should vibrate, as you can see here, right? The percentage it should vibrate. So in this case, we'll do like 0.5, so like 50%. And basically, if you just do this, it'll vibrate forever, but you would do like task out wait 0.5 and then set it to 0, right? And again, the issue is developers will just do this, but not check if you're actually, using the gamepad. So essentially, in this case, you just do the same thing. If the last input type does equal enum user input type gamepad 1, then make the haptics happen. And we could just do a loop real quick. So every 5 seconds, not then, my bad. Every 5 seconds essentially trigger the haptics. So now if we test, right? Now I pick up my controller, moving around with it, give it 5 seconds, and the haptics just went off. Now I set my controller down, using my mouse again, wait 5 seconds, it's not going off anymore. And I know you guys can't see that, obviously, like only I can really just tell you that the haptics are going off, but trust me, they went off and they didn't. Um, so essentially, TLDR, in summary, please stop using Get Gamepad Connected and please stop using haptic service without detecting if the gamepad is being used, because as someone who plays with their controller connected all the time but doesn't use the controller, I'm always playing games where it has Xbox controls but I'm on PC. So please use get last input type. It's so much better and it's just a better user experience. Um that's all for me today, and yeah, catch y'all next time.